It's
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Killer Author Club. I am Killer Kara, along with Killer Heather and Killer Kimberly, and we're so excited to be welcoming Killer Gilly here today on her pub date, U.S. pub date for the long weekend. So we're really happy you guys are all here with us, and welcome, Gilly. And here we all are, and we're all live. Okay, so anyway, what we did was we decided the Killer Author Club would be kind of a different take on some of your favorite suspense and mystery books, because instead of just talking about the story, we wanted to talk to authors about how they kill, why they kill, all those kind of killing questions, fictionally speaking, of course. So that's why we created the club, and we're all really glad you're here. Really important part of this is to please post your comments, and we will try to get as many of those questions answered by Gilly, our guest, as we can. Also, please follow us, all four of us, on social media, on Facebook and on Instagram. It really helps spread the word about our books. And of course, you want to go order our guest author's book. And stick around. We will have a giveaway, so you need to listen. There will be a question coming, and the answer will be part of the dialogue, so you don't want to miss that. So I think I got everything. Without further ado, Heather, could you please introduce our special guest?
Yes, the Killer Author Club is thrilled to welcome Gilly Macmillan. She's the internationally best-selling author of psychological thrillers. Her books have appeared on the New York Times, Sunday Times, Der Spiegel, and Globe and Mail bestseller lists. They've been translated into 25 languages and optioned for film. She lives in Bristol, UK with her family and is working on her 8th novel. Her newest, The Long Weekend, is out today in the US, and it's about 3 couples, 2 bodies, and 1 secret. It's been described by New York Times bestselling author B.A. Paris as beautifully written and wonderfully atmospheric. The Long Weekend is an unputdownable roller coaster of a read. So, Gilly, we are so excited that you are here with us. You're a favorite of all of ours, and I know readers throughout the world love your book. So we just are really honored that you're here with us today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here with you. I feel like I'm amongst friends on my publication day.
Yeah, that's right. It's pub day. So we need to raise a glass to that. That's super exciting. I want to pull up Lynn, who says she heard the first chapter on First Chapter Fun this morning. If you guys don't know First Chapter Fun, anyone watching, it is another show where they literally read the first chapter. So you get a very good taste of the book. It's Hank Phillippe Ryan and Hannah Mary McKinnon. And Hannah has a beautiful, lovely British accent. I don't know who read yours this morning, Gilly, but that would have been quite fitting if it was Hannah.
Yeah.
It was Hannah. She did a fantastic job.
She's great. Yeah. All right. So, so we always also, speaking of cocktails, have a killer cocktail. Our guest has a killer cocktail, and it is the Boston Sour, Long Weekend Sour, inspired by the long weekend. So here is the recipe. We have lemon juice and egg whites and powdered sugar, sugar syrup, simple syrup, and some bourbon. That sounds delicious. And Gilly, I know that in our emails you said it was inspired by, there was a personal story behind this cocktail. Was it a family cocktail?
I can't remember. Yeah, my kids are into making cocktails, and in fact, because it's 9 o'clock here, my son may be one to bring to the show to show you.
Pretty.
So yeah,
So pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Yeah, he put some bitters on the top and everything tonight. I don't know if you can see that.
Wow, look at that. Okay, we
it's
can
just
toast.
one we love. We can toast. Cheers.
Yeah, we can toast with my water.
Yeah, it's day drinking in the U.S.
Yeah.
I'm actually in Amsterdam, so it's 10 o'clock here, so I'm allowed to drink. officially.
Yes.
You're allowed to drink, as am I. Yeah, and it's my pub day.
Yes.
So we've been playing with cocktails as a family. It started in lockdown, and it's been a lot of fun. So this was my favorite. Everyone in the family has a different favorite, but this is mine.
I love it. Delicious. So try it out, guys. And if you missed that recipe, it is on our Instagrams and Facebook pages. I'm sure you can find it there too.
Yes, and our YouTube channel. I always forget we have a YouTube
right.
channel, so you can follow us there too. Yeah, subscribe.
Killer Author Club YouTube channel. Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right. So, are we ready for the big killer question of the day? Okay, really. This is the important question. The reason why we have our whole Killer Author Club. So the question is, how do you kill? Dun, dun, dun.
In fiction, in brackets, not in real life, obviously.
Yes,
I said to my family that this evening, this is my question, and how would you answer it? And they threw back some frankly horrifying answers, which I'm not going to. So I'm going to fall back on what I thought originally. And I suppose, like all of us who write thrillers, I probably kill carefully. I need to make sure that the killing's not easy to solve, and I need to make sure that it suggests all kinds of motives, and so very, very carefully indeed, and also so that there are clues so you can solve who did it, and maybe some red herrings and that kind of thing. So I kill carefully.
I love that answer. That's so great. That's a perfect answer. Seriously, it is, because we can't just be haphazardly killing. Then that's no fun. Then the book's over like at the beginning.
Right.
So you have to have devious enough killers that they're careful and thoughtful, and so hopefully readers. And I just like this book, and I know I'm not supposed to jump, that I'm still supposed to stick on killing, but the best part even of the arc was that the whole letter from maybe the killer is on the back, and that kind of starts the whole story off. So it's a letter from Emily to the ladies, the rest of them at the house, and should we talk about the plot a little bit? We should probably before I do this. But anyway, so there's 3 women going to a remote location in a dairy farm. Dairy, is that what you call it? Like
Dairy farm, yeah.
Their husbands have all been best friends for life, but they don't really know each other that well. And the 4th one stayed behind because her husband has died tragically earlier before this happens. But when they get to their place, in the remote rustic place, they find this note, and it says, "Hi ladies, your weekend starts here. I hope you have a great time. I didn't come along because I know I'm not welcome. Don't know. This is goodbye. I'm going away, but I wouldn't want you to forget me. By the time you read this, I'll have killed one of your husbands." That's just so great. I love that so much. It's so great. Anyway, so there was.
And I thought the clever thing too was, in a story like this, when you have so many different characters, like there are so many possibilities. It's almost impossible, unless you maybe read it a couple times and read everything super fine tooth comb read, almost impossible to figure out who it is. There are so many possibilities, and I kept going back and forth as I was reading. I was like, "Oh, it's her. No, it's him. It's them." So it was.
I got the idea for the book from a movie called A Letter to 3 Wives. It's a 1949 movie written and directed by Joseph Mankiewicz, who did All About Eve. And it's a romantic drama, actually. And there are 3 women, and they go off on a boat trip. And as the boat's leaving, a messenger boy runs up with a letter. And they open it as the boat has left the dock. And obviously there's no phones or anything. And it says, "By the time you read this, I'll have run off with one of your husbands." And it's a terrific film, but I thought, as we do, wow, you could really make that dark. So that's what inspired me.
You can carefully make that even more murderous. Yes.
Even more murderous.
I like that a lot.
I love that, taking something from the past and being inspired by another work of art and then creating something brand new out of it. That's so neat. Now, this is your 7th novel. And so does it get any easier to kill?
No, I don't think books get easier I'm waiting to write an easy book, waiting to find an easy plot and an easy, killing, I suppose. No, I find each one as hard as the one before, and possibly even harder. I don't know if that's a thing, but definitely it's hard. I think you're so wanting to improve your craft and improve your book. You have to do it on a time scale. So I do feel that kind of pressure to kind of keep them coming at good quality. And I suppose my books might not be any good if I didn't feel that pressure, but they definitely don't get easier.
So do you, like a book like this, when you had so many characters, do you have like massive lists? Do you keep spreadsheets? Do you color code? How do you keep track of everything?
So first I just start, and then when I start to lose it in my head, which just gets quicker and quicker these days, then I make a spreadsheet, which is a list, as I'm sure you do. And then later on, I saw Heather posting a great color-coded proof the other day full of Post-it notes, and that's me as well. And I'll even get marker pens out to mark each themes and characters. And because it's pretty quick that it's not possible to keep the whole thing in your head.
No, because I mean, I don't know how long it takes you to write a book, but it's usually what, like, 4, 6, 8 months to write.
Yeah.
And so like what you write on day 1, you've forgotten by the time you get to month 3. You're like, well, who was that person again?
But you definitely forget. And that's where the editing process is so important, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I keep naming characters Roger for some unknown reason. Oh no. And like a Roger will slide into my manuscript every time. I'm like, no more Rogers. So I now have to keep a list of characters by book because I got to keep the Rogers out. I don't know. I got to somehow kill Roger. That's what I need to do.
Like, what do they call them? The Bible, the series Bible.
Yeah.
If you write a series, you get a series Bible. Somebody says, okay, well, this person has, blonde hair, green eyes, born here. Like, they write down all those details so you can track, because I don't know how you do it otherwise.
I know it is. Yeah. And one more killing question, Gilly. Do you find yourself like, has a killer ever surprised you in a story and like done a different type of killing or killed sooner than you wanted him or her to?
The killer in The Long Weekend surprised me, but I can't really say much more about that.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. What came, because I don't plot in advance, I discover the stories I'm writing. I think that story absolutely, definitely surprised me.
But did you know who it was when you started writing? Because like the killer, we kind of know that, well, you start off thinking one thing and then you learn something else, but you don't know who it is until probably 75, 85% of the book? I mean,
I was writing the story and it was neat, and I had this neat letter and this neat idea, but it was when I got to a certain point I thought of something which readers will discover, and I went, that's the book, the book. And there's more than one death, and it all kind of suddenly unfolded and became more exciting to write. So I hope readers will pick up on that as well.
That's so fun when that happens, when you're writing. It's so fun for us readers too. Yeah. And I love the style of this, the way the prose flows and the next character kind of flows right in. It's so well done. It's just really, it's a great book. It's a great book. Any other killing questions, people?
Yeah, I had one. So you wrote, and this actually kind of stood out, especially in light of our killing discussions on this particular club. You wrote, I tell you, murder is easy by comparison to disposing of the body. So it's not just about how you kill, but how you get away with it and how you hide it from everyone, right? Like, I thought that was brilliant, because that's really how we have to think as authors too, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's not just about the kind of disguising the clues, and covering up your footprints and disguising your DNA and your phone records. It's like, what do you do with a body? Bodies are really, really heavy,
And they smell.
Yes.
They go through processes. I would spend two detectives for one of my books about what happens when you find a body, and they told me some pretty horrifying stuff about, states you can find a body in terms of rigor mortis and all sorts of things. So the practicalities of hiding and moving a body are quite complicated, I think. I think that would really put me off if I was ever considering
like non-fictional killing.
Non-fictionally speaking, yes. Oh my gosh. No, that's cute. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I get, I'm not good at all of that that body decomposition part. So yeah, my people will skedaddle. I don't know what we find a different way. But yeah, disposing is very key. Killing
you
correctly.
kill somebody in the book, you have to deal with that to a point, don't you? You have to, the body has to be somewhere.
Yeah, it has to go somewhere. So Renee would like to know, do you set a certain amount of time that you write each day?
I'm very optimistic every day, and I think I'll have a working day, and this never happens. So I try and write for at least half a day, and preferably the morning, because that's my clearest, when my mind is clearest, before life's had too much of a chance to kind of get in the way. But honestly, since the pandemic, I've sort of been much more scattered and writing in the afternoons and snatching time. I've found it more difficult. But I think I need at least 3 or 4 hours to write probably as many words as I need to write on a good day. And on a bad day, it's like 9 hours and I'm tearing my hair out.
It sounds familiar. I read somewhere that when you're concentrating on something, every time that you're pulled out of your concentration, it takes 20 minutes to get back in. I'm like, well, that's depressing. Every time the dog barks, every time the phone rings, Yeah, sometimes it takes longer than it should.
And did you find during the pandemic, was it easier to write or harder to write?
I think I found it easier at the beginning because I was absolutely chock full of adrenaline. Like, we're going to manage this, the family, everything. I'm sure we were all running on adrenaline. And so I was, I got a new book deal and we came up with this idea. I spent hours on Zoom with my agent every day and I started writing it. But it was probably last January when we were in a very strict lockdown here, January 2021, that I really lost, I guess the adrenaline just left me. And I really found it much more of a struggle last year. So it was weird. I was sort of in 2 phases and I'm just picking up again now, really, in terms of energy and concentration and confidence, because I think writing books is a confidence game as well.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. For sure. So Sherry would like to know, have you ever taken a character out of your book that you first thought you wanted in the book?
Ooh, that's a good
question.
question.
Killed off a character, I guess, right?
No, I don't think I have. I think there are characters that my agent would like me to have killed. Possibly, and editors also. But no, I don't think I've done that. I think I've kept them there. Yeah.
Here's another question. How long do you research or ponder on an idea before you start writing a draft?
Not very long, because I'm on a book a year or book every, I've just gone to book every 18 months schedule. So I don't have too long. The one that stayed with me longest was the idea for The Perfect Girl, which was, I'd heard about a girl in the same situation to the one in my book. And it was a real case that a friend of mine who's a criminal solicitor described to me. And that I couldn't let it go. As a girl who'd done something in her teens and done some jail time, and it really affected her life very badly. And I couldn't let go of the idea of that happening. I thought it was so sad to do something so terrible at a time of your life when you're not even a fully formed adult yet. So that one stayed with me, but no, I don't ponder too long. No, I think it's best to get going.
For the long weekend, did the movie that you got the idea from, did that happen to be on TV one day, or was that an old favorite of yours? How did you get reconnected to that movie? Where you thought
I had never seen it. I was talking to my agent about All About Eve, because we were looking for ideas and just talking about different types of plots, and that's such a great one. But we figured lots of people were doing it, and then I was looking up the writer and director because it was such a good script. I watched All About Eve, and it's just brilliant. And I noticed he'd done this other one, Letter to Three Wives, which is actually based on a book called A Letter to Five Wives, which is written in 1946. And so I thought, well, I'll watch it because I enjoyed rewatching All About Eve so much. And then the letter came on screen, or they read it out, and it was just instant, thriller plot right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
it's great.
Don't you love it when that happens? I mean, it doesn't happen all that often. You almost have to, like, I don't want to say wait for it to happen, but if you try too hard, it won't,
Right.
And then like one little thing can spark an entire book in your head. You're like, finally.
I know.
Thank goodness. It's here. It's arrived.
Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about this is one thing that I think readers are always fascinated about, like the difference between US and UK covers.
Oh, yes. Shall I show you? Do I have one? I don't have a UK one to hand. I mean, they're both really different markets, and my books tend to look extremely different in both places. This is my North American cover, which I really love, and they've really got the letter theme. I'm going to grab a UK one just while we're on this.
That's so fascinating to see the differences between.
I know. Oh, wow. It's very different, right? Yeah.
Hugely different. And this is what our market likes, because the majority of our books are sold in supermarkets. So it needs a really grabby cover.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's you try not to have favorites because they're designed for different reasons. It's always interesting to see that. And then of course, any of us who've got foreign editions, they're all different as well. And it's fascinating to see what different markets do with the same title.
Yeah.
Well, both covers are fabulous. So
thank you.
Love it.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, I think we're at that time of our episode where we talk about something very fun, and it's our killer giveaway. So we have a killer giveaway of Gilly's The Long Weekend. And to enter, everybody who's watching, all you need to do is answer the question that I'm going to ask in just a moment in the comments. And we'll leave the contest open for about 24 hours. So if you missed hearing the correct answer, you can go back and rewatch and listen and add your answer to it. So the question is, how many different languages have Gilly's books been translated into? And we will pick one correct answer for our winner in the next 24 hours. So again, how many different languages have Gilly's books been translated into? Good luck, everybody, and start those.
And make sure you listen for yourself, because if you copy somebody's answer and it's not the right one, then you're not in here. That's what happened last episode. People were like, "It's the Smithsonian. That's the library she worked in." I'm like, "No, it's not." But then there's Smithsonian. It was funny. Anyway, so be sure you're listening.
Yeah. Okay. And so also for each episode, this is something we started, I think, on our last episode. We ask our featured guests for a favorite indie. And Gilly has chosen Kepler's books in Menlo Park, California. So Kepler's, whoop, whoop. And I will pop the link in the comments as soon as I am done here. It will take you straight to her book on the Kepler's page, and they will send it wherever you are. But there's a reason you chose this indie, right? Because it's a U.S. indie, but you know this bookstore, right?
I do know this bookstore. When I was 18, my parents moved to the US for 3 years. It was my dad came over because of his job, and we lived in Menlo Park. And of course, we were a big bookstore family, so we were so thrilled to discover Kepler's in our new neighborhood. And Menlo Park was a lot sleepier back in the day when we were there. So we had a lovely 3 years. We still miss it.
Love it. Well, the Killers love indie books, and I think we're speaking for all authors when we say we love indie booksellers. So they do a lot for us and for the community. And and now we have a special surprise for our killer author, Gilly. Killer Kara, will you do us the honors, please?
Yes. So each episode, should our special guest survive, and you have done a great job, we award you. Where is the bat? Somebody got that?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yes, you get your own. I survived the Killer Author Club badge.
Thank you.
Sometimes it appears to obliterate the whole screen. Sometimes it like hovers over someone's head. This one's a ginormous version, so we're very happy you survived. That's why. So we will send you your copies. You'll have it to remember that you survived. But we really, really appreciate you taking your time to be with us. And we wanted you to have a little bit.
Congrats! It's a fabulous book, y'all. I read it like in a day. It
really is. And yeah, I think we all just fell in love with it, and the way that the way that you constructed it with the narration flowing like that, it's very brilliant, very brilliant.
Yes, congratulations, Gilly.
Oh, well, thank you for having me, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, and we just are tickled that you spent some time with us out of your very busy schedule and from across the ocean, that you would take some time to spend with the Killers. So thank you so much for being here. And the Killers will be back again in 2 weeks with 3 new authors, a group of 3 this time. And they're going to take us back to 1985 in Providence, Rhode Island, where the smallest state boasts some of the biggest mafia connections and the seediest politicians. When 4 partners in a law firm flying high with their latest big money deal die in a suspicious plane crash, their widows must band together to find out who killed them and do it quickly before they're the next victims. So see you on April 12th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific. And remember, everybody, run out, get a copy of Gilly's The Long Weekend, and go ahead and follow her and all of us on social media so you don't miss out on all the fun. So thank you, everybody, for being here with us today.